The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find. The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style.
I think visibility is everything as a building leader. You know, I purposely, like, if I have email time, right? Time where I'm just like having to catch up on emails or whatever, like, or I have holes in my schedule where there's no meetings, I'll put in my schedule like visiting classrooms, or I'll bring a desk in the hallway and work out in the hallway.
Right.
You know, people need to be able to see you. And that's how, like, as a leader, you're constantly doing like your little formative assessments, and you have your finger on the pulse of the school. Like, how are things going? Are people stressed out? Is there a roadblock that's impacting someone right now that I can help with? It's my piece of the culture, if you will, right? Being able to be visible and to see people every day. And I find that those times where you're not visible, you end up with more emails, and you end up with, Merton Williams, like, one thing that they've been doing is, the administrators there, they, like, during the lunch times, they literally stand in the hallway, and every day they're committed to being out there, and people know they're out there. So they'll come and ask them questions versus sending the email, which is like, who doesn't love a face-to-face interaction versus having to use a keyboard, right? The kids will go up and talk to them and stuff. So I'm like, that seems to be very important with school leadership, at least, and I do see that modeled. I work here at Quest, and we are attached to central office. So, from the moment I started here, I'm so used to seeing Dr. Kosorik walk the halls, or Mrs. Polini, or, just staff members that might work for central office that they come down, and instead of sending the email, they come down to ask the question and stuff. So I think you got to find ways to be visible, and instead of asking that person a question through email, like, let me go talk to them and ask them the question, or like there's ways to do it. And you just have to, like, make sure that nothing else trumps that.
Right.
Because if you don't have that quickly, people will feel like they're not supported. So
You mentioned just when you're the conferences between student, parent, and teacher. Talk a little bit about your communication, or what you've done with parents to incorporate them into the school culture, and what maybe you have planned for the future.
Yeah, so parents are really important piece of kids' education. I remember those years where parents were highly involved, and what that felt like compared to years when I taught, where, like, I may have some parents that I went the whole year and didn't get to meet them. You know what I mean? And so I think it's important. So just historically, this school being a school of choice, back in the day, there was actually a parent contract where they would commit to, like, no, we're volunteering here and having to do that with the common family and single households, and a lot of families have two parents that are both working. It's kind of tricky to expect parents to come in and volunteer. But what we have found is we have pretty high volunteerism here. Even though that contract is not like something we make parents sign or anything like that, it's like the essence of, like, I'm still involved is pretty strong. So we have a lot of volunteerism. We do a lot of school events. That's kind of the thing here. Like, we have a feast, a sled race, a culture day, a science fun day. And, all those days include our parents, and they're a big piece of it, and they volunteer. The other big piece is our PTSO. It's very strong, especially for a small school, and, parents find ways to help and to kind of be in here. And
what are some qualities that you believe that you possess that have helped you in your job as a leader, and maybe some others that you're working on?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think, like, some of the things that have worked for me are just, I come from a genuine place of care for people. Like, my why, right, is I have it plastered on my wall. Like, why do I do this work? And it's all about, like, building an environment where people want to work here. Because I feel like this is a big portion of people's lives.
Yes.
If they're happy, you're adding value to their life. And so for me, and that all goes back and trickles down to the kids. And so for me, I think being part of that. And I'm a pretty passionate, curious person who's constantly reading and trying to be better and stuff. And I have to continue to work on those things that we were talking about earlier, being balanced, that self-care. Got to constantly work on my stress management because, I find that like the highs are high and the lows are lows.
Correct.
And when you're going through tough times, it's really easy to just kind of get in your own head and just be like, oh, no. And so constantly having to monitor myself in that way and remind myself that you're doing what's right for kids. There's a lot of times, in this role, you don't get a ton of feedback from everyone, like it's you on a day-to-day basis, you're dealing with a lot of problems and problem solving and, working with people and stuff. And so, learning to continue to grow myself and to lean on people and stuff like that's really, what I've been working on and trying to grow in and stuff. And, and just, continually looking at systems and, that's become a strength, I think, but it's, you learn that like you have to constantly lean on other people too, right? Because it's such a big task and stuff, and you need people. You need great people around you because they keep you in check and they know the school, they know the kids, they know So really, I just want to continue to be curious and grow and stretch myself in those areas.
What's it like going from parent to grandparent?
That's a good question. Well, I think it's knowing that you don't have the responsibility that you had, nurturing and the values that you may have implemented. I think sitting back, watching to see how they are doing with their children. Do they have the same mannerism and approach and things like that? And I think for the most part, the answer is yes. I don't see any stark difference. So it's pleasing. I'm sure if Carol would agree, it's very pleasing to look and see some of the same values that we had in place being pushed, brought on as well.
By your children.
No complaints.
Well, let's stay with Joe a minute. What did you tell us a little more about Joe? He's passed away a few years back. How did you see him?
I saw him as a fair man. He was great to the kids. He handled everything well, and he was a great guy. He helped me a lot in sports.
In what ways?
Sport.
One of the things I loved about Joe Tolhurst was he would never cut anybody.
No, he never did.
If you came out for the team, you made the
He
team.
made the team. You had your teams.
Yep.
He was fair to everybody.
Yeah. And he was always, while he would take a great athlete like you under his wing, but he was always looking to help out the worst players, really. The weakest players.
He developed a lot of good kids. And they trained their best.
Oh yeah, he was all about the game and how to play it, even though he was an NBA caliber player, literally.
What I used to do is I used to play one-on-one with them.
You did?
Yeah.
How old? All these probably.
I'll tell you.
Doesn't matter.
I'll tell you. I don't think I'd beaten him at all.
Ever, yeah.
He had that set shot out there, that two-hand set shot,
Yeah,
and he never missed.
right. Yeah, he was like the players today. He was shooting a really long, but he wasn't jumping.
Right. He was quick.
Yes.
Really quick.
What makes Hilton a special place?
I've never known anything other than Hilton. It's where I grew up, where I've lived my whole life. It's just been a good place to live. For me, it has been. I never had any interest to going any place else. Business-wise, we ran the business. Just been here my whole life. And it's been a great life here. Schools are good. Everything's good. That's why you see it. Now where the orchards are, you see housing. Grown. Like I say, back in the day, there was 5 grocery stores, and they all made a living, and they were all family run. You go from Auburn Hazel Canyon, the Hart store, across the street, and right at the corner there where it's an insurance place now, that used to be Otto Wolf's. Then where the bank is, that was Harold Tabor, the IGA. Then you go down to Herb Groutman, and then Bud Ingham. Herb Groutman and Bud Ingham ran the red and white. 5 grocery stores, and they all supported families.
And they were thriving.
Yep. We had a bowling hall. Before that, we had the theater.
Where was the theater located?
Well, it's vacant now, but it's right where Z's.
Yep.
Just just to the west of that, there's an open spot there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was a theater. There was a 4-lane bowling hall after that. And then, of course, after the fire, Al Warden had a grocery store in there for a while because it had nothing to go by. Then it became a restaurant. Yeah.
When you say theater, was it an indoor theater? Or?
Yeah. So,
And then, okay.
quarter, you go see a theater on Friday, 25 cents. Ray and Lorraine Elgire ran it. And he ended up driving school bus for towards the end there. And then when it changed over to the bowling hall, he drove school bus and stuff. But yeah, they lived right down on North Avenue.
The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find